مساء الخير جميعا. السلام عليكم واهلا وسهلا بكم في هذه الجلسه عاليه المستوى حول الرقمنه او التحول الرقمي ودورها في زياده الترابط ما بين القطاعات المتداخله وهي المياه والبيئه والطاقه وانتاج الغذاء. احكي بالعربي ولا بالانجليزي؟ Do we have English speaking?
Yeah, we're having a few.
1, 2, 3,
4.
4, 5. Okay.
We're getting the headset.
Okay. We speak in English, okay?
Yes.
Great. We'll come to this important session on the importance of digitalization in boosting and advancing nexus between water, energy, environment, and food security. Very pleased to have this joint session in cooperation with AQUA, between Middle East Water Forum and AQUA. The Middle East Water Forum is a pioneer platform with regional perspective on raising awareness and enhancing water management in the Middle East by adapting technology transfer and innovation. The Middle East Water Forum initiated over the last 2 years a series of webinars, online webinars, and high-level panels on this subject, digital water transformation. And unfortunately, this subject is still lagging behind. I think there is poor understanding of the issue and the importance of digital transformation. I remember 2 years ago when we did one of the webinars, we did a survey, and 50% of the attendees reported that digital transformation is not important. 30% said they don't understand what's digital transformation. But because we are in the Arab region among the most inefficient regions in water management, digital transformation is the subject. Because in many cases it's much cheaper than having a new infrastructure. Our understanding of digital transformation is simply we need to know where each drop of water, where is each drop of water, where is it being used for water, for energy, for food security, for the environment. And how much water do we have? And how much this water will last? Prediction models is very important in digitalization. But again, this subject is full of challenges. Funding challenges, capacity. You need the right people to move forward such an important program. Compatibility of the existing infrastructure with the new technologies is another challenge. So we have today high-level experts who will enlighten us about digital transformation, the challenges, the opportunities, some case studies, the regional policies, funding. Unfortunately, our colleague from the Green Fund, Dr. Amjad Al-Mahdi, did not attend because of some family issue, as he said. But we have enough speakers to enlighten us. And I will give each of the speakers 1 minute to introduce their expertise and their role in water management. And I will start by Her Excellency, Nuran Al-Baddawi. If you give us 1 minute about your...
Thank you. Okay, so my name is Nuran Ashraf Al-Badawi. Advisor to the Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation of Egypt. My area of expertise is desalination and wastewater treatment. And I've been working for 15 plus years in membranes fabrication and composite fabrication. So that's the core of my studies. Thank you.
I'm engineer Ahmed Absoud. I'm a visual expert in digitalization especially. My biggest role is a company make digitalization, transportation, and we use smart meters, so we'll talk about this expertise.
Thanks so much. Dr. Hassan Al-Naga, I'm lecturer at Columbia University of Applied Sciences in Germany, and I'm chairing the working group of urban water security at Island Ukraine. And my expertise mainly working directly on integrated approaches like WEFE, Nexus, IWRM, but also currently working on digital transformation for sustainable development.
Ziad Hayat, Senior Sustainable Development Officer in charge of the water portfolio with the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Western Asia. Started working with ASCO in 2015, and the first thing that I worked on was the water and energy food security nexus. Developed a framework for the Arab region, considering specificities of the region. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all our distinguished speakers. When we organized this session, we wanted it to be more interactive. We will hear from the distinguished experts their best and most important experience. Then we will have interaction with your good self, because all of you are experts in the field and we need to hear from you. We will start by having introductory presentation by Dr. Hassan Al-Naga, who will enlighten us about challenges and opportunities. And afterward, we will start with our distinguished speakers. I understand also Her Excellency has some commitment. She has to leave earlier. And as ladies first, we'll give her the floor after Dr. Hassan. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, everyone. Great pleasure for being with you. So I will talk mainly about an overview of what has been done on digital transformation. We have been working on it for more than 4 years, working on it whether in the regional level or at the Mediterranean level, with also governments from different countries on the experience of digitalization for WEFE Nexus. As we already know, according to the UN reports, that the world, and especially in the Arab region, we are off track to almost all water-related sustainable development goals. And here there is a link for sure with the WEFE Nexus, as many SDGs are really connected with it. In terms of digital transformation, the question, do we need really to complicate things already? The WEFE Nexus is already complicated and integrated with different sectors and also many challenges in terms of data and so on. So we need to really have a paradigm shift on the way we manage water today, from linear system of use and dispose to circular economy model, to shift directly from infrastructure delivery to resilient services. We know in our region we have intermittent water supply, and here in Jordan is very common that people receive water only once or twice per week. And for sure, access to infrastructure is not the good indicator to measure that we have really a water security. And for this regard, when we come to digitalization, most of us, when we think about digitalization, we think about technology. It is not. Digitalization is not about technology, it's about strategic direction for people and culture and also infrastructure and the organizations around it in order to bring digitalization really in the ground. So there are many mices when it comes to digitalization. And it's not only here in the region, but also worldwide. There is no common definition of what does digitalization for WEFE Nexus means. How can really digitalization can play a great role in order to advance the WEFE Nexus. One of the major mices for it is mainly digitalization about technology, and we are searching only about different technology and sensors here. But imagine you have like an old man with many diseases. Digitalization will not support him a lot, but it can give the decision maker an informed decision based on the real-time monitoring, and also there are different layers of digital transformation. So it means that digitalization will not support everything, but it would accelerate the progress if there already a good water governance, there is a good infrastructure, there is a good collaboration between sectors in order to achieve the WEFE Nexus. What we mean here, but with the definition of digital transformation for WEFE Nexus, is mainly referred to the strategic adoption and the integration of digital technologies across the WEFE resources, but also involved the advanced digital tools to optimize efficiency, sustainability, and resilience of our infrastructure. If we talk about the challenges, we already here know most of these challenges about the data silos. Most also of ministries or sectors working in silo, not in integrated manner, and also this had a great also impact on the security of water and food and energy. There is also resistance for change. So imagine going for digitalize the system and the full digitalization for the water system, starting not only to monitor the system, but also controlling the system and the overall system. So there are also many concerns about also cybersecurity, because imagine here in the Arab region, we are using the technology, not producing or inventing it, so there is also a risk from it. And for sure, many regulatory barriers in order to integrate all the sectors together. There are some sectors that are lagging behind, some sectors are really in the way, like from energy, you could find it, they have a good digitalization system, but other sectors from water and agriculture, there are some difficulties for it. Why we need digitalization and why it's really important for us to address digitalization? Because of this, all of these factors. We need to optimize water resources allocation. We need also to enhance the resilience. If we are talking also about the region, the high levels of non-revenue water, it can reach to more than 50 or 60% of our water is being lost, whether due to physical losses or commercial losses. There are also many challenges on the water governance point of view, which also reduce the efficiency of the water systems. There is also a data and the need for data-driven decision making. And I'm sure that all of you would really suffer from the data. And not only about all data, about data sharing, data collections, and also how you can make informed decision out of it. There is also important to foster cross-sector collaboration and also meeting the growing demands that we have. There are already increasing demand in the WEFE Nexus, and we need really to work on this 5 pillars. We have a limitation for our infrastructure. As I said, there is high levels of non-revenue water, there is outdated infrastructure, and this is the greatest challenge. There is also data security concerns, financial constraints, and also how we can bring this, because we all know that according to the World Bank report, we need 4 to 6 times of the capital of investment of today. So where we can get this money, so there is a need to change the way we finance water and really work with private sector. Workforce also adaptation. We need also to invest in training and capacity building and raising awareness about this important, because this is the future. And since more than 60% of our population in the Arab region are really young, are youth. So this is a good opportunity for us to capitalize on them and invest really in human capital. Collaboration, which is already an important factor. We all already know that the IWRM as SDG 6.5.1 on IWIM is also off track. So imagine we are talking about within the sector, with the water sector, we are off track, and we are talking about the WEFE nexus between different sectors. So it means that one sector, if it is really working in silo and cannot integrate it with other sectors and collaborate with other sectors, this means at all, if we cannot achieve water, the SDG 6 on water, it means that we cannot achieve all sustainable development goals. And this is very critical for us. One of the important things when we are talking about digitalization, okay, what should we do? Should we put some smart meters here? Should we put some sensors here to sense water? No, there is no strategy in the region about digital transformation for water or even for WEFE Nexus. Major components of it, it's really critical to work on this, to the infrastructure assessment, the sensors and IoT deployment, the data management systems, SCADA systems, smart metering, because you know when we are talking about the new technologies like or new solutions from AI or advanced analytics, it wouldn't support you anymore if you don't have the infrastructure needed to support it and the governance that really support it. So this is very critical for us, that one of the solutions that can be in developed country cannot be also shifted to here with the challenges of GIS and also the infrastructure that we have. So we need to envision a future for the WEFE Nexus for this, to optimize water resources that could for sure play a great role on in the 5 lines. One about integration and implementing the integrated approach. Infrastructure, we're having resilient infrastructure. Institutions that come together in order to achieve the integration, but also innovation. And innovation here through new partnerships, new technologies, but also new solutions that are for the region. Digitalization here, or talking about this topic, it means that we need to shift from reactive water management that we have today to more proactive approach. And this is the main aim, should be the main aim for us. We need to change how water is. We did okay, we did a study with I did a study for the UFM and also, but we have many webinars at the Middle East Water Forum, but also from the Mediterranean level. So we had also survey with a total of 178 people responded to this. And there are many questions, as His Excellency Dr. Hazem talking about, there is a need for awareness in the region about what really digital transformation is. One of the major aims is mainly about what are the most significant challenges that you see. There is here a priority to look at the adequate infrastructure that we need, limited also financial resources, and when we are talking about digitalization, where we are in the digitalization process. Because many of us say we already advanced, but do we have really an performance indicators or something to tell us, are we really on track or off track? How far we are from digitalization? The region here, and this is represented also by the UFM countries, that we are still in the initial stage, which means exploring what does digital transformation mean, but there are also many major challenges around there. How familiar you are with digital transformation and also the Nexus? As you can see, not very familiar. There are many people who also need knowledge about this issue. There are also many aspects of how digitalization could support as well the digitalization. There is asset visualization, operational optimization, and also predictive analysis. For sure, there is a great interest in the region to find a roadmap for the region in terms of digital transformation for the WEFE Nexus and how we can really achieve that. And the key recommendations that comes out from this report is mainly infrastructure and also investment on modernize the infrastructure that we have, financial also support and collaboration, and here we need for sure the private sector, because the private sector and also the technologies both can support us in this track, but within a roadmap for us without getting us the silo solutions that we have been working in. Stakeholder also engagement for all stakeholders from different sectors, and also important to have also pilot projects in order to implement this. Key messages from this, the last slide, that we really have a collective, the need for a collective action from us to change the way we manage water. I mean here, to change the way we manage water, to change the linear systems that we have, from use and dispose to circular economic model, to shift from reactive management to proactive management, and also to change the finance, the way we finance water, the way we collaborate with each other, the way also we draft policies within the WEFE Nexus, which is really also crucial. There is also an important about also the scale. We find also some countries that we can learn from it, like Spain or also other countries that has really a full digitalization system. You can also visit also Valencia. They have the big rooms which have really a fully digitalization for the whole system. Thanks so much. There are also some references that you can go for it, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Hassan, for this wonderful presentation. I think it's very useful. You enlightened us about the importance and challenges and understanding of the digitalization process. Now I will give the floor to Dr. Nuran Badawi, and she will tell us about her experience in the subject as well as the envisaged plan in Egypt for the WEFE Nexus. Please, Dr. Nuran.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you for this important question. Let me put it this way. Digital transformation plays a critical and multidimensional role in enhancing water conservation, especially within the WEFE Nexus process. And this is critical in water-scarce countries like Egypt, like Jordan, and the rest of the Arab world. Accordingly, from Egypt's perspective, we have adopted a visionary strategy of what we call the irrigation system 2.0. It offers a concrete roadmap demonstrating how digital transformation can shape resources management. We've classified our strategy into 9 main pillars. These pillars target the conventional and non-conventional water resources management, the hydraulic structures across the country, the adaptation and mitigation to climate change, governance and policy, planning and reformations, awareness and stakeholders consultation, and the global role, our global role as ministry in the water action agenda. I'm not going to go through the details of the strategy because we don't have enough time for that. But I'm going to focus on key roles that, in my opinion, they define the digital transformation. So, for example, we are resorting to smart water allocation and monitoring. We are integrating the satellite imaging, the remote sensing, the drones, the mathematical crop models to enable us to estimate water crops and water consumption and crop needs. And therefore, we enhance the precision irrigation, minimize the waste, and optimize our supply under the limited available resources. In the field of real-time system control, we are putting a lot of effort in digitally upgrading our hydraulic structures, including the high dam and the major structures across the Nile River. And this ensures an adaptive water operation based on real-time data. We are focusing also on enhancing the efficiency through smart irrigation systems. We're upscaling our irrigation system, and we're shifting from the level-based measurements all the way to discharge management across the extensive 50,000 plus of our canal network in Egypt. And this would enable us in the future to become more equitable and efficient in our water distribution. In the field of the Nexus orientation, in my field actually, where we are trying to integrate the desalination and the wastewater treatment in the field of the agriculture wastewater treatment. In the field of agriculture, We're focusing on advancing the desalination process and constraining a complete model of the water, energy, food, especially the non-conventional water resources, and therefore addressing all the 4 pillars while maintaining an environmental protection through zero liquid discharge systems. In the field of the data governance for groundwater, we are digitalizing the groundwater governance systems, including smart metering, centralized database, improve the oversight of the sustainability of these resources. And we're not only talking about the smart systems, we are also focusing on the behavioral change of the stakeholders. And therefore, we have launched extensive public awareness campaigns, and we are promoting culture of water demand management and social behavior management and social shifting in the field of water conservation. Accordingly, in our experience or in our efforts of what we're doing, we're focusing on the digital transformation to become an enabler and a catalyst for all the sector strategies, and we are addressing Egypt's structural water challenges through the integrated system, not only focusing on one particular system without considering the rest. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Noran, for these remarks. Very well received. Dr. Noran, I have a question to you, because we want to hear more about your plans in Egypt. In light of Egypt's water scarcity challenges that we all know, what role do you envision for digital tools like, AI is the mode these days, in enhancing water conservation and efficiency strategies in the water management in Egypt? Can you tell us if you have any plans in this regard?
We are incorporating actually AI monitoring in our strategy. We have not yet reached that part, but we are working on that deeply actually.
That's good to hear. Okay, we'll come back to you maybe with other questions later. Now I would like to invite Mr. Ziad Khayyar, the star of sustainability in the ISCWA region, with his long-lasting experience in sustainability and water management, to tell us about his perspective and his experience and what functions, what does not function, etc. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for this introduction. It means a lot coming from you. Basically, when we started looking at the Nexus, the WEFE Nexus, back in 2011, and then when I worked on it in 2015 till now, what's needed and what is at different levels, from the tools, the technical tools, from the governance structure at the higher level, from the regulatory framework and the environment that allows all of these to interact and come together. If we're talking about digitalization today, my voice is coming in and out, I guess. If we're talking about digitalization today, it's another tool that can serve the Nexus, that can take it forward, make it easier to interact, and handle all of this great amount of data. But again, as for every tool, there are conditions for its use. And I think one of the important tools is how we govern this tool to be an inclusive tool, that it's not a tool just for governments and within ministries, because now we're talking Nexus across different sectors. But we're also talking Nexus, if we want it to be effective and we want the gains, we want it to be inclusive for everyone. And if not everyone has the same capacity that governments or experts might have, this tool will be very limited as other tools that we've had before, and we weren't able to take advantage of. So what's needed at the governance level, you need to include to do the regulatory and the governance body for it, the environment for it, that enables trust. And now we're talking about in a digital world, digital trust, which is needed. So everyone has trust to invest in this tool. You open your data to this tool. You are sure how this is being used and who's able to use it. This is a very important aspect of any digitalization, the digital trust of these tools. That everyone has a trust that this tool will be properly used and the data that you put is safely used. Another thing that I talked about is inclusivity. How do we ensure that? There's a great imbalance, or there's great disparity, whether between countries in the region or even within the same country, of capabilities, financial needs that are needed for these tools. And so there's a great need on capacity building at the national level to ensure that from the smallest farmer who will at the end will be the beneficiary and who will make a difference in these Nexus tools, these digitalization tools, that they have the right capacity and they're rightly empowered to access this data, and it's not only being used between certain departments within certain governments. And then you also need to have the knowledge exchange between governments. We have some governments in the region that are very advanced. They have cybersecurity strategies. For example, Egypt has a cybersecurity strategy. Morocco, Jordan, Palestine has a cybersecurity strategy. And then there are countries that don't have that strategy and are not moved into that. So you need an exchange. And happy to report that in 2023, there is now a cybersecurity council within the League of Arab States. So that's in the right way to do that. This is some of the things that are needed. And then within also the trust building, we'd like to see more transparency and stakeholder participation in this. So now we know that there's a lot of digitalization and networks being built, but people and users need to be involved, need to know the process that is being carried out by governments, how is this data gathered, who is able to access it, what are the measures that can be taken if there's a breach, how to report and how to follow on that. That all needs to be clear to support the WEFE Nexus in a manner that makes digitalization a useful tool and not just a tool that stays in the closed rooms of certain sectors within governments.
Thank you, Mr. Zia. Thank you very much. I drafted a nice question. We need your experience.
Hopefully I can give you a nice answer.
How can regional platforms for knowledge sharing be enhanced to ensure that successful digital transformation in one country can be effectively and practically replicated in another country?
Sure, that's an excellent question. The first part is harmonization. There needs to be a harmonization of how data is collected, analyzed, and presented, so that in the region we're all speaking the same digital language between us. That's a very important tool. And again, I come back to this also the digital trust, that we trust that the data that we are giving to this network or the network is taking is used in a way, and now with the AI, that's becoming even more and more important, that the coding that's being done is appropriate for the region and for the countries that will be using this. It's taking the social and economic factors within the region to develop analysis based on the indicators that we have in the region. But any system that you have and any network that you have is only as smart as the data that you provide to it. And this gives more responsibility and more stress on the quality of data and the willingness to share this data with these platforms and these smart digital platforms. We've tried to have several data and knowledge platforms at ESCO. We have one which is purely scientific, which is a climate data and climate modeling. But more recently, we've tried to establish an Arab groundwater knowledge platform. And the way that we've started with that is having focal points from the Arab region, building trust with them, and having the data come from them, being verified, and then put on this network, and then combining it with remote sensing data, with satellite data. So you have a social, environmental, groundwater platform where all of this data is gathered. The first stage is building trust, and that's done through having, for example, all of data verified through a password and use it with the focal points. So this is what we're building on, is trust and a harmonized approach and way of processing the data so that everyone is on the same level. I think these are two key factors in any knowledge platform for the region.
Thank you, Mr. Zia. Very informative. Thank you for the details. Now I would like to invite Engineer Ahmed Abu Saud. Engineer Ahmed Abu Saud is the expert in the subject, and his hands were in the fire because he and his friends and colleagues from the Aqaba Water Company transformed a governmental water utility into a digital utility almost 100%. So Ahmed, give us as much as you can in terms of details, challenges, plans, etc. Thank you.
شكرا لك على المقدمة، وأنا رحت باللغة العربية. اليوم راح أشارككم تجربة أنا بفتخر إني كنت جزء من التيم اللي بيشتغل فيها والفريق فريق عملي في شركة مياه العقل. وضعنا خطة للتحول الرقمي بجوز بداية 2015. كان هناك خطة واضحة كيف بدنا نحول كل مرافق المياه وكل مرفق المياه بشكل يعتقد من المصدر من الآبار ولحتى الترانسميشن لاين، الخطوط الناقله ومناطق التوزيع والعدادات، بحيث انها تكون زي ما تفضلنا عليها قبل شوي هي فول اوتوميشن لمرفق مياه كامل متكامل. واخذنا بايلوت اريا بلشنا نقيس عليها النتائج. فاول ما غيرنا الموضوع استخدمنا سمارت ميتر، طلعنا كيف بدنا نكون في عندنا نتائج واضحه ونقدر نبني على اساسها قبل ما نبلش بالتوسعه. فالتجربه كانت انه اخذنا منطقتين في مدينه العقبه، حطينا فيهم قسنا فيهم قبل ما نبلش قديش كميه المياه المفقوده، كل الكي بي ايز زي ما تفضل الدكتور حسن ولازم نكون عارفينها قبل ما نبلش. قسنا كل الكي بي ايز بفور. بعد ذلك تم استبدال جميع العدادات بهاي المناطق بين المنطقتين هذول لسمارت ميتر. سمارت ميتر فول سمارت which means المترولوجي او طريقه العد هي التراسونيك بلس انه عم يرسل القراءات بشكل كامل ومتكامل الى ذات قاعده بيانات تقدر تحلل هاي القراءات مش بس على مستوى الشركه، كمان تقدر تعطيها للمستهلك نفسه من خلال موبايل اب يقدر يشوف استهلاكه على مدار الساعه او على كل ربع ساعه بيقدر يشوف قديش استهلاكه. قديش كانت هاي النقله مهمه وكانت مفيده جدا، حيث انه انت تعطي المعلومه لمتخذ القرار سواء كان الشركه او حتى المستهلك نفسه اللي عم يتطلع على استهلاكه ساعه بساعه وعم بيقدر يعمل كنترول لهي المعلومه. ورود هاي المعلومه للمستهلك بحد ذاتها ادت وانعكست على معظم الكي بي ايز، منها مش بس الفاقد اللي بالشبكه، كمان حتى الفاقد اللي جوا البيوت واللي عم بيصير داخل البيوت، وقدر هو يقدر من خلال هاي التنبيهات انه يعالج المشاكل اللي بتكون عنده. زائد انه هاي انعكست على كميه الاستهلاك اللي بيستهلكها، انه العداد السمارت عم بيعطينا الكميه الحقيقيه وليس مثل الميكانيكال ميتر. لما تم استبدال العدادات من عدادات ميكانيكيه قديمه لها اكثر من خلينا نقول مساوئ او ما بدناش نسميها مساوئ، لكن العداد الديجيتال غطى كثير من الشغلات اللي كان العداد الميكانيكي ما بيحققها، مثل انه موضوع شكل العداد او الطريقه اللي بتركب فيها العداد بالسمارت ميتر اليوم هاي بجاوزها، انه عم يبعث القراءات وعم بخزن جواه كمان القراءات لمده معينه عم تضل موجوده، قراءه دقيقه للغايه، كميه استهلاك حقيقيه موجوده عم بتسجل وعم بيعرفها المواطن وعم ناخذها، هاي بنت الثقه بانه حتى المواطن لما يشوف استهلاك صار بيعرف قديش انه فعلا هذا الاستهلاك اللي انا عم بيصير على مستوى اليوم او على مستوى الاسبوع او على مستوى الشهر. هاي المعلومات كمان صارت تتغطى للدائره الهندسيه، بحيث انهم يجوا يقيسوا اي او يعملوا اي مشروع عم ياخذوها بعين الاعتبار. عم بيصير تحليل لنفس الانماط او لنمط الاستهلاك اللي لكل المواطنين اللي من نفس الفئه. هاي كلها الداتا اليوم عم تقدر تتحلل بطريقه معينه. ربط هاي المنظومه مع منظومه السكادا سيستم، بحيث انه اصبح كل العدادات اللي موجوده بهاي المنطقتين عم بنقاس فائدها، ولو نشوف النتيجه اللي طلعت معنا في اول فايض في هاي المنطقه، في منطقه من المناطق كان عندنا فائض 43%، بس مجرد انه غيرنا هاي العدادات نزل لحوالي 20%. اليوم نحكي اكثر من 25 و 30% اذا مش 50% ببعض المناطق، هو نتيجه بس انه احنا نقدر نغير طريقه الميثودولوجي للكيس اللي كانت موجوده الأقل. عشان اكون واضح اكثر، الكيس هي بنحكي عن continuous supply، تزويد مستمر للمياه وليس تزويد متقطع، وهذا بالعدادات الالتراسونيك تقدر تضبط كميه الاستهلاك وتحسبها بطريقه دقيقه جدا. ربطها اليوم لتكامل هاي المعلومه مع نظام السكادا سيستم، حيث نظام السكادا سيستم اليوم عم باطين قديش عم بيطلع من حقل الابار من الولفير، قديش عم بيطلع كميات، قديش عم بتروح بالترانسميشن لاين، عم نراقبها سيجمنت باي سيجمنت لحد ما نصل للديستريبيوشن نتورك. الديستريبيوشن نتورك تكامل ما بين عداد البلك او عداد المزود مع عدادات الكستمر، بحيث انه مجموع عدادات الكستمر هو والفرق ما بينه وما بين الكميه اللي داخل هاي المنطقه هو هذا الفاقد. قدرنا نحط اصبعنا في بعض المناطق على الفاقد بكميته، بالتالي يصبح من السهل التعامل. اليوم موضوع الديجيتاليزيشن ما بنقول احنا وصلنا لكل الديجيتاليزيشن بالكونسبت لسه في قدامنا كمان خطوات اللي كيف نستفيد من هاي الداتا ونحددها ونقدر كمان نربطها مع الادرز مثل الزراعه والطاقه يعني اليوم عم نحكي عن تجربه عم تصير تقريبا وصلنا لتوقيع مذكره تفاهم مع سلطه منطقه العقد الاقتصاديه الخاصه، بحيث انه نستفيد من هاي الشبكه اللي موجوده اللي هي شبكه الداتا اللي عم بتجيب الداتا من السمارت ميترز، بحيث انه كمان نستفيدها بتطبيقات اخرى. واحد من هاي التطبيقات مثلا استخدامها بالزراعه، بحيث انه بكره يصير في عندنا مقياس لرطوبه التربه. ونس انه صار في عندنا درجه رطوبه بوينت معينه تقدر تعطي اوردر للمحبس بحيث انه يقوم بعمليه فتح المياه على هاي المنطقه وعلى هاي المزرعه وعلى هاي اللاندسكيب اريا، بحيث انه يتم بتزويدها بالمياه.
شكرا مهندس احمد. Thank you very much. He has more details. We'll come back to you. Ahmed, I have a very simple question to you. Having heard all what you said about digital transformation in Aqaba, the simple question is, did we save water?
Yes.
Give me a proof. You don't have a proof, I will tell you the proof.
We said yes. اليوم لما المواطن قدر يعرف يقلل من تمثيل استهلاكه، وقدر هو يعني من خلال كميه الاستهلاك اللي كان فرق ما بين العداد الميكانيكي والعداد السمارت، وبدي اعطي اكزامبل حقيقي. يعني انا مثلا كانت فاتوره بيتي بالثلاث اشهر حوالي دائما تجيني 7 دنانير ونص. لما غيرنا سمارت ميتر صارت فاتوره بيتي 75 دينار. ليش؟ لو صرنا نقيس الكميه الحقيقيه. اليوم لما يكون عندي كونتينوس سبلاي المياه بالروف توب تانك المناطق عم تمشي بطريقه سهله، وبالتالي هذا الحكي خلى قيمه الفاتوره تكون حقيقيه. شو قدامي الحل انا؟ قدامي الحل الوحيد باني انا اقوم بترشيد الاستهلاك. ترشيد الاستهلاك هذا انعكس على الووتر سبلاي بطريقه اخرى، بحيث انه صفقه التنميه ممكن من خلال الاوير اللي صار عند الكاستمر انه يقلل استهلاكه، وبالتالي حافظنا انه نحافظ على كميه المياه ونزودها ل
Thank you, Ahmed. In addition, the proof, Ahmed, that the water supply to Aqaba city did not increase for the last 15 years because of digital transformation and all the efficiencies within the context of digital transformation. For the last 15 years, Aqaba water supply did not increase by a single cubic meter of water. And this is the proof for the importance of digital transformation. Before going to the audience, we can ask you, not vice versa, because we have so many experts here around. Hassan, I want just to ask you, Dr. Hassan, being academic and working with universities in Egypt and in Germany, the question is how can academic institutions in the Arab region collaborate with technology developers to create scalable digital tools for water, energy and food security within the context of rapid urbanization, and this is your specialty, urbanization and water scarcity in urban cities. Please.
So much for this important question. I think one of the major issues for us in the water sector, when we're talking about integrated approach like WEFE Nexus, that we have really a capacity gap. It means that I'm a civil engineer, I don't have a specialty in social science, in digitalization, IoT, different disciplines. And here it comes the problems of silos, where we can really get this information. As an engineer, I used to be an engineer, to design and also to implement the projects. It first came for me when I studied in Germany, IWRM master program. I was with colleagues from different backgrounds, and imagine we have a project as an engineer. I think my thinking or my methodology and solution was to, I will build a dam. I will design something. But when it comes to colleagues from social science, he say, I will talk with the people. And I say, how is this to talk with the people? Is this a good solution? And someone from the law, he say, no, we will make a law for this and this will solve everything. And the political science perspective came and say, we will implement like a policy that could really solve this problem. And here, it came from me that it's really important to see all this perspective and their methodologies and the solutions. And this is why we have this IWRM master program. It's here in Jordan for more than 13 years, and it's successful. Most of the leaders in Jordan also studied in this program or affiliated with the program, and we bring it also to Egypt currently. And this is really very important for us. Do we have in our ministries or in our organization a social science or social specialists? Do we have IT people that could really understand that how water is really managed and can support us? This is why we need to really work on what's called the T-shape or the bi-shape in order to really work is the complex problems that we have with water. So to sum up, it's really important for us to think outside the water sector, because the solutions that we will have on it will come from other also sectors. And we have also to learn from other sectors like energy, which is they are already advanced, and we really to bring water and agriculture at the forefront in order to achieve water and food security.
Thank you, Dr. Hassan. I would like, and I wanted to use the opportunity, we have here with us Dr. Hani Sweden. He is the Minister of Water Resources in Egypt. Also, he is a distinguished academician, worked for a long time in German universities. I hope I'm correct, Your Excellency. And I would like to ask you again a simple question. Why digitalization is not quickly progressing as it is in energy and telecom? Why it's lagging behind within water sectors and water utilities?
Who said that they can answer this question? Anyway, thank you very much. A very interesting mix of clinicians and practitioners. But let me speak first as an academician, somebody who worked 25 years in Germany at a university as a professor. But I can, when I try to present this experience, I will do it like Dr. Hassan. Theoretical introduction, theoretical structure of digital transformation. But when I worked at the ministry in Egypt, the life is different. Like, and Your Excellency, you know this, the practical life is completely different. And sometimes we see digital transformation as digitalization, but we forgot that there is a term called transformation. And transformation in practice is the most important part. Transformation means transforming the mindset, transforming the process. Some weeks ago with Dr. Ahmed, we were trying to transform the licensing of groundwater from being just a normal process, somebody like to dig a well. Don't speak much about it. So we're trying to transform the process of somebody who would like to get a license to dig a well, and people were complaining, it takes a very long time. I just want 1 or 2 wells to irrigate my small area. So we had to organize a meeting first to identify the needs of the customer, not me, but the team, and the expectations from the ministry. What do you need from somebody to install a well? And first thing to discover, there is a list of documents that he has to submit. You just need to ask why you need this document and why you need that document. Then you discover at the end, it's just one document is needed to start the process. All others he can submit later on. So first discovery, that is only one document you need to start the process. So once this document is available, you can start the process. And then the workflow, to analyze the workflow. And if you try to draw a line, how the workflow in reality is working, is going in this direction, customer submit a document. And then it goes to Mr. X. Mr. X signs and it goes back to Mr. Y. Mr. Y goes back to the same line. Just try to draw a line and see how the process is going. And then you discover that it takes 7, 8, 9 months, a year. Then if you try just to correct this line, why you go to Mr. X and Y? You just jump from here to there. And you discover at the end, the maximum you need is 15 days to produce a license. Now, you still did not do any digitalization, just analyzing the workflow and the process, and then you discover a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of mistakes, a lot of back and forth, and then at the end, the digitization itself to transfer this, what you already analyzed, to an online system that somebody submit one document and get the license, it takes 10 to 15 days, and most of the work is not in the programming, and it's not in developing the online, and it's not in developing the to digital. It is in the transformation of the process from the way we think to the way we have to manage it in an effective and digitized way. But I enjoyed your interventions and thank you very much. I have to ask to release Nuran because we have to travel now. Thank you.
Please. Yalla, before she leaves.
Do you have a strategy or plan to use disseminated water in irrigation?
Yes. One big yes. Okay, so in our perspective, desalination for agriculture in its current form is not going to work. Because we know that the price of cubic meter is super expensive in comparison to whatever products that you're producing. But I have two success stories, one in Morocco and one in Spain. And they both depend on the integration of the water, energy, and food. For example, in Morocco, I'm going to speak on behalf of Morocco. Morocco, what they did is they made the wind farms. They subsidized the price of energy, sold part of the energy for the domestic use, and used the rest of the energy for the desalination plant. And then they produced cherry tomatoes, sold that to Europe before the time of the cultivation in Europe, made extra cash, and then started importing the important crops for them and made use of the process. So the integration worked. I have another success stories of Spain. Spain agriculture is based on 20% of desalinating seawater. But what they did is they integrated freshwater sources with that, recycled some of the water with that, and therefore and produced the cash crops. So accordingly, if you design the entire system, not look at desalination on its own. You have to design the entire system and incorporate the entire system within your model. It's going to work. That's what we believe. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Noran. Please tell me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask a question for everybody. If anybody wants to respond, just to tell us one challenge. Question is, what are the main obstacles hindering digital water transformation in our countries? Please. Yes. Data. Availability of data. يا شباب انتوا ما عندكم كل ميكروفون واحد؟ لو قلتوا لي كان جبت معي واحد من البيت. لا جاي في الدور. قبل ما
Okay, I'm looking at data. I think availability of data and how we use this data.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Maybe after the data is the infrastructure and expertise. Maybe how to manage and manipulate the data is important also. Experts.
So the availability of the right infrastructure.
Yes, right infrastructure linked to experts. Since maybe you can have a huge data, big data, but you cannot manipulate or understand or read. Yes.
So we have data availability, which is information about our infrastructure, and the infrastructure itself.
Skilled people.
Yes.
Skilled people to manage.
Lack of expertise, like Ahmed. Yes, sir.
Willing.
Political will. That's fantastic.
Maybe funds.
Yes, ma'am.
Funds, you need money.
Not hearing you well.
You need money, funds.
Money. Financing. So we have availability of data, the right infrastructure, political will, capacity building, financing and funding. Yes, sir, here.
The exchange of data.
Exchange of data, which means knowledge transfer between countries.
And even within the country.
That's a good point. Yes, sir, Muhammad.
Institutional reform.
Institutional reform, which lies under, again, capacity building.
I'm talking to Your Excellency about the structure of utilities. It should be always develop themselves.
ما في ميكروفون هذا صاحب العرف.
انت صاحب العرس سيدي، اخوي صديقي. I'm saying that every utility should not be stuck as the structure when they started. There are new task forces, environment is changing, some people is talking about financing, brain drain, and before 10, 15 years we were not talking about climate change. So they should adopt to themselves an institutional reform that they can face the difficulties. This is what I mean.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir. I think microphone is mine.
يعطيكم العافية. أنا بس أحكي شغلة بسيطة إن واجهتنا لما كنا نحاول نعمل applying the digital solutions إنه أغلب التكنولوجيا في العالم.
لو تعرفنا عن حالك لو
أنا إياد سهاوي.
أهلا وسهلا.
أهلا وسهلا بيك. أغلب الشركات اللي بتشتغل تكنولوجي في العالم بتكون بتصمم السوليوشنز بيزد على الانفراستراكشر والووتر سيستمز اللي عندهم، بمعنى يعني ابتداء من موضوع مثلا التيبيكال كروس سكشن للكونستراكشن. احنا عندنا الوضع مختلف عن مثلا في اوروبا او في امريكا، الستاندرد مختلف، طبيعه الشبكه مختلفه، فلما يجيبوا السوليوشنز عندنا بنبلش يسالك اسئله بتقول له مش موجود، مش فالid، وبالتالي انا بقول انه ممكن نشجع اللوكلز يعملوا سيستمز من عندهم كاستمايز لبيئتنا، لانه هو بيجيب لك اجهزه كثير ادفانس وكثير سمارت، بتجيب هون بتفشل ببساطه لانه ما فيش داتا اولا، او الستاندرد والنتورك اوبريتنج كونديشن مش فت للشيء اللي في اوروبا او في امريكا. عشان هيك اللوكال سيستم تنجح اكثر بكثير، مع انه بجوز مش كثير ادفانس زي اللي بيشتغلوها بالاي اي والسمارت تكنولوجي برضه. هاي واجهناها كثير.
شكرا اخ اياد. اخ اياد صح. اضاف لنا تشالنج جديد اللي هو compatibility and standards. بمعنى انه الستاندردز الياباني للديجيتال ترانسفورميشن ما راح يكون سهل على الانفراستراكشر اللي موجوده عندنا، ولا الستاندردز حتى in terms of sensors، ما بعرف الاشياء الثانيه اللي لها علاقه بالموضوع. اعتقد في الاخت اللي هناك كمان. تفضل.
One more challenge is the data storage and sustainability. Sometimes the institution we develop data, but even within the same institution, after a while, the data are missing. So it has to be sustained and it has to be stored, and then can be shared.
You are adding to the data availability also data storage and processing and handling. Yes, sir.
Maybe it's a bit more detailed, but I believe we have a problem in the operation and maintenance of the systems. We don't have a long-term horizon for at least budgeting a budget for the effort and for the operation and maintenance for the digital system that we are introducing to the sector. So any system that we will introduce, there will be someone funding it or someone taking care of it for a couple of years, 5 years maximum. Then you feel that the attitude is going down and down and down. So I think more long-term horizon and budgeting for those systems, and make sure that those systems is an asset for the sector, are not something just additional options.
You are adding that subsystem should be part of the inventory of the water utilities. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Not only decision from policymaker, but also commitment.
Commitment.
Yes.
Yeah, we said political will, which is in the same line.
commitment التزام، بده يضل ملتزم بهيدا الاستراتيجي اللي بده يحطها، مش اجى قائد جديد بده يغير.
Continuity, yes. You are right. Thank you. تفضلي. Is a challenge. So until now we have more than 8 or 9 challenges, and I would like to hear from you. Yes, ma'am.
I want to introduce myself. I'm Malak Ma'alta from Jordan Water Company. We are all here proud of Akil Water Company success story. And what I want to add that the challenges that you've mentioned is we have it in Yahuna, especially the intermittency of supply. And what Julia mentioned that the on-shelf technologies are not applied here. Yahuna installed 200,000 ultrasonic meter. we could not get benefit of the alarms because it's like built on alarms based on continuous. And that's why we now moved to a project, and we're very proud of it. It's called Smart Utility Transformation. And we customized something that fit the intermittent supply, and we utilize the artificial intelligence and having operational scenarios. So based on available quantities of water, the AI system will recommend operational scenarios how to distribute the water. And also we have believed in like the sustainability. So I want to thank you having someone from the sustainability, as like we're not here looking for pilots that have result, but we would not have the sustainability or commitment to continue it. And here in Yemen also have collect the data that led to data, we call it data-driven decision, and we are monitoring the KPIs, so we could have like decision based on what is the performance. So we're here in Jordan advanced in this, and we're really proud of that, like what's in Aqaba and what's in Miyahuna, because it's coming from Anil. So the challenges, like we passed through it, all of us, but alhamdulillah that we could have we have the expertise in the water sector to get like a solution that could overcome that challenges. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I would like to hear from you. You will be the first to answer my next question.
Oh, it was a question from my side too.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
I like the speech about Aqaba water case study, and I'd like just to ask if you did any benchmark about this, and if yes, which KPIs you take for this, and how you measure the customer satisfaction.
We are measuring this from the number of objections. Yes, so the customer, before we use the system, is come and make more objection about his usage, his bills, something like this. But nowadays, we know his consumption, we control his consumption, the number of objections go down and down. The other issue, the number of complaints also that comes from the customer, that there is certain leak here or something here, also this is go down. And so from these two KPIs, we can measure the customer satisfaction, how it's come. Now, other point that when there is an internal leak for in-house of the customer, so he knows immediately because there is continuous, the water is not stopped. So also he take action and correct it before he wait until the bill is coming and will be handled.
I just want to add a point about intermittent water supply. You know, there are two schools. One school that we work on intermittent supply and try to improve the efficiency and the operation of it. And there is another school which says we need to shift from intermittent to continuous water supply. And I am with the second school. Imagine we have a system with intermittent water supply with the examples that we have an old man with many diseases, blood pressure. This is the example, really an old man with many diseases. This is how we deal with intermittent water supply. There is high pressure, there are high levels of non-revenue water or the water losses in distribution network. There is operation beyond the capacity, and there are many challenges around it. It comes also from decision makers. It can take only one day from you to shift from continuous supply to intermittent supply. But to shift from intermittent supply to continuous supply to back again to your network, it can take years. And I think this is also very, very important for us. And digitalization, as the case of Aqaba, it really exemplifies that really we can manage to do so because there are many schools that say we cannot manage because we have limited resources. And imagine with intermittent water supply, you would find the water losses are really very high, and also the lifetime of the infrastructure is really getting down. And this is important for us, important for us to transform our way in terms of our systems. We need to improve the systems and not to take the decision just like this to shift to intermittent supply because of the challenges that you have, and at the end you are like leaking not only from water resources but also from the financial resources and also the capacities that you need. And this is very critical for us in our region.
Thank you, Dr. Hassan. I need to go to the next question because they're telling us we have 2 minutes or 3? 5. Okay. Please.
اسم شرف الدين السليتي، سينيور هيدروليك انجينيور من تونس العاصمه، من شركه وطنيه للسولار المياه. بدي اسال سؤال المهندس احمد ابو سعود فيما يخص التجربه اللي قام بها بالعقبه. حبيت نعرف اولا عدد المشتركين اللي قمت عليهم بالتجربه، واهم حاجه واهم شيء حبيت نعرف الاستهلاك اليومي للشخص قبل وبعد التجربه. هذا مهم جدا. والسؤال الثالث هو في نقطة معناها الفينانسر المشترك، كم كانت كلفة المشروع على كل مشترك؟ شكرا.
بداية السؤال الأول
هي مش تجربة، هي مدينة كاملة تم عملها، عدد المشتركين.
بدأنا بأول بايلوت كان 7250 كاستمر، أخذنا كل الريزلت كل الكي بي ايز، بعدين زي ما تفضل معالي كملنا كل مدينة العقبة. الآن عندنا حوالي 42000 مشترك، كل مشتركين العقبة الآن عندهم سمارت ميتر، ما في أي ميكانيكال ميتر. مش بس سمارت ميتر زائد قسمنا مدينة العقبة إلى 30 ديستريبيوشن اريا، 30 زون، وعلى كل زون كمان في هناك بلك ميتر عم بقيس قديش كمية المياه اللي عم بتفوت على هذه المنطقة، وهذول كلهم مربوطين من خلال كوميونيكيشن سيستم عم بودي الداتا ل سنترلايز داتا بيس عم بيحلل قديش عم تفوت على المنطقة وقديش عم بيصير الفاقد في كل منطقة. فعندنا الجواب الأول 240,000 مشترك الآن، وكل مشترك عنده مضاف عم بيتركب الآن سمارت ميتر يركب على نفس الانفراستراكشر اللي موجودة من ناحية الكوميونيكيشن ومن ناحية الباك بول سيستم. النقطة الثانية الاستهلاك بلش يختلف مع البتل، لو كان في هناك مشتركين كثير عندهم انترنال ليك، بس هم لأن الأعداد الميكانيكية على الكونتينيوس سبلاي مش عم تبين هذا الانترنال ليك. اليوم وصل انه غيرنا لسمارت ميتر الاستهلاك بالبداية طلع، فكان لكل المشتركين يعني عم بضرب شوي مثل انه كان عندي استهلاك بقيمة خلينا نقول نحكي بحوالي 20 متر مكعب، صار حوالي 70 متر مكعب. نفس عدد الافراد، نفس الاشخاص اللي عم يستهلكوا، لكن صار يقيس هذا العداد استهلاك الحقيقي. برضه برجع باكد على التزويد المستمر. فهذا الاستهلاك الحقيقي خلاني انا ابحث كمشترك وين سبب، فلقيت الليك وبلشت اضبطها لحد ما رجعت للاستهلاك الحقيقي، واللي هو ابدا ما كان 20 متر في الثلاث اشهر، حتما اكثر من هيك. فانت في عندك فاقد اليوم، هذا الفاقد هو عم بيروح عند الموقع مش عامل عداد، مش عم بتسجل. عشان نسوي هاي التجربه وناخذ نتائج حقيقيه حطينا ان سيريز عداد ميكانيكال ميتر مع التراسونيك ميتر على الكونتينيوس سبلاي. فكان الفرق بين هذا وهذا يزيد عن 52% على الكونتينيوس سبلاي ما بين الميكانيكال وما بين الالتراسونيك. كمان الميكانيكال لازم يركب ميزان معمول، اذا ما كان في نقل ببلش كمان هون انه في موفمنت بارت قطع متحركه داخليه بتخلي العد مش دقيق، وبالتالي اليوم لما الالتراسونيك عم بيحدد كيف مكان الشيء تبع التركيب تبعه. كل هاي الشغلات اللي كانت سواء كانت اخطاء انستليشن، اخطاء قراءه، اخطاء كلها تقريبا كل اللي بنسميها ادمنستريتيف النوسز كلها حاجه والصوت الاداري كلها تتم تجاوزها باستخدام فقط تغيير العمليات. الان صفى هاي القدرات اللي عم تجي عندنا غير عدد الاسترا قدرنا نحسب قديش الفاقد الفيزيكال اللي موجود زي وبالتالي نوجه كل طاقاتنا لنعالج هذا الفاقد الفيزيكال من خلال برضه منظومه ثانيه سوشيال مانجمنت كلها هاي عم تركب على نفس الانفراستراكشر. اليوم صفت وزيره العقل كثير كامل فيها كل هاي التولز اللي عندنا بتجيب هاي الثلاثه وبالتالي بتمكن تاخذ القرارات انه توجه فرق الصيانه لا يعمل تصحيح لهاي الشبكه وبالتالي نقلل بالنسبه للفاقد اللي كان.
Before we, I'm sorry, but because we don't have time, we are already late. Before we close the session, I'd like to give the floor to His Excellency Engineer Rajul Khashman.
Since there is translation, we speak in Arabic, His Excellency. موضوع التحول الرقمي هذا أساس. بدون ذلك احنا نصير باك سيت. موضوع جلب التكنولوجيا أو شرائها جيد. بس في موضوعين أساسيين توطينها وبناء القدرات في الاستمرارية. يعني أجوا USA غيروا كل شيء بالعقل. تذكر معنا كينيا كتير. ولكن الشباب بنوا قدراتهم بحيث إنه بعد ما استمروا بهذا الموضوع. في الشمال تذكر لما اشتغلنا على تفويض الصلاحيات وسوينا سيكلاس في الفلوس وبالزلة الفاقد خرجوا. بعدين استمرينا 3 سنين وزدنا عن ذلك. الأهم نستمر في بناء القدرات، نستمر في ضخ دم جديد في هذه المؤسسات. يعني العقبة شوي تهرب إذا لم يأتي لها دم جديد. فهذا الإنسان لازم نحطه، هذه الشغلة لازم نحطها بتخطيطنا واستراتيجية للإحلال والبناء القدرات. شكرا.
Thank you, Engineer Khaldoon. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Middle East Water Forum and Aqua, I would like to thank all of you, also to thank our distinguished speakers. I think the session was very useful. We still have so many questions from the audience, but maybe we'll have in the future with cooperation with Aqua more seminars on the subject, because it seems that the subject is really important and everybody is interested to learn and to know more about the challenges and the opportunities.
Allow me, Your Excellency, to suggest this and I will add it to the, after the speech which I did, I will suggest to form a new technical work prioritization of you.
That would be good one. Thank you very much. Thank you.